Good day, this is the latest weather update on the tropics. Continuing to watch Typhoon Nesat or Pedring just east of Luzon, and also watching Tropical Storm Haitang in the South China Sea. This is the 26th of September 2011, 0830 Zulu, 4:30 p.m. Philippine Time, 5:30 p.m. Japan Time. As I said, we're still watching Typhoon Nesat, now approaching Luzon, last located approximately 220 kilometers north-northeast of Iraq, Catanduanes over here, or about 430 kilometers east-northeast of Manila. Maximum sustained winds have increased over the past 24 hours, now at 150 kph, gusting to 185. Still a Category 1 typhoon though on the Saffir-Simpson scale. Nesat is moving west-northwestward at 20 kilometers per hour, and you can see in this visible image the eye starting to appear now, with the huge cloud cover, central dense overcast there, and also outer rain bands you can see moving their way across much of Luzon now, particularly here in the southern Luzon and also here in Bicol region areas, and also affecting central and eastern Visayas actually, with some light to moderate rains there as well. But in terms of the core of the storm, you can see the eye beginning to appear now. The strengthening and the intensification has actually been slower than what we forecast over the past 2 days, so that which is a good news. So that means we are not expecting Pedring or Nesat to reach super typhoon status any longer, although it could still strengthen up to Category 2 by tonight, Philippine time. But as of 11 a.m. Here are the latest signal warnings from Pagasa. I'm not going to go through much of this. You can just pause the video here and just look at the provinces and places under signal number 2 and number 1. Remember, we still don't have signal number 3, although we do expect that to be hoisted anytime soon, around perhaps on Pagasa's 5 p.m. update. I just want to note as well that Metro Manila is now under signal number 1 there. You can also head on to our site and blog for the latest signal warnings list, which will be updated later today around 5 p.m. Philippine time. So probably see more areas that will be under signal warnings, and especially signal number 3 as Nesat makes about to make the landfall tomorrow. In terms of the convective activity, you can see here, this is, I don't know if you can make Luzon here. Much of the Philippines is under this convection, and also the center, the core of the storm, remaining somewhat fragmented. We haven't seen really a nice signature in the infrared just yet. You see the intense convection, the coldest of cloud tops, is remain to the southeast of the storm. You can also see some dry air, as I pointed out yesterday. But again, the outer rain bands are beginning to move across much of the Luzon area. Rainfall reports so far around 50 to 150 millimeters for parts of Bicol region, and also last time I checked, Naiya Airport here in Manila reporting moderate rain, definitely cancelling flights there, and also actually have some reports of cancelled schools from the Department of Education. So you might want to check out that part if you have college or definitely high school classes for tomorrow. But instead of looking to Nesat's water vapor image, again showing you the outflow, well-established outflow actually, but again that dry air not really helping, has really hampered Nesat's development and intensification of the Philippine Sea. You know, the warm waters here and the low wind shear should have helped Nesat attain rapid intensification, but we haven't really seen that. Probably won't see that anymore. But still, showing you the dry air just in training and really not helping Nesat's intensification, which is good news for Luzon there. And also again the observations here supported by the microwave image. This is the latest one that we have. See, the eye wall is still open. we have a nice signature now beginning to appear in the microwave, and actually it has improved over the past 6 to 12 hours. But again, the eye wall is still open. Again, the most intensive convection remains to the southeastern quadrant of Nesat, but probably see some more strengthening. As I said before, it could probably reach category 2 status before making landfall there. Now, in terms of the wind so far here, we have the typhoon force winds of around 65 to around 80 knots, around 150 kilometers sustained, remains less than 100 kilometers away from the storm center, so just a small area of typhoon force winds. But as you can see, we have a wide area of tropical storm force of around 65 to 100 to 120 kph sustained winds, basically, that extends as far away as 300 kilometers from the center. So you can see the coverage of those strong winds. And also right now we have observations from airports and weather stations across Luzon indicating some pretty strong winds of around 30 to 40 kph in these areas, and coupled with the moderate to heavy rain that will definitely cancel flights and disrupt schools, traffic, and all of that. Now, as for the forecast, we've mentioned the good agreement among models as to the landfall. Still forecasting a landfall somewhere in Casiguran, Aurora by Tuesday morning. However, the models begin to diverge by Wednesday. As you can see, some of them take Nesat towards Hong Kong, while some takes it just south of Hainan by this weekend. So I have to iron out those issues, but main thing here right now is the potential, the forecast landfall, which is, as I said, near Casiguran, Aurora, and also depicted here from the JMA, also showing that landfall is probably within 50 kilometers actually of Casiguran by Tuesday morning, and then continuing toward across Luzon, perhaps passing just north of Baguio City by Tuesday afternoon, and also Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday night, and then exiting through Ilocos provinces into the South China Sea. And also here JTWC, just to show you the agreement, also showing this landfall tomorrow morning, as you can see the peak winds from JTWC have decreased now to 90 knots. Remember, a few days ago they were expecting this to become a super typhoon. Not anymore, so good news definitely for Luzon, but definitely we still have to continue watching the typhoon force winds. This will still be a category 2, potentially a category 2, which is still very strong and potentially devastating typhoon. And don't let your guard down. Definitely, that's the lesson that I want to emphasize here. But again, showing the track across Luzon is pretty similar, although JTWC also expecting Nesat to weaken to a tropical storm as it traverses the mountainous areas in Luzon, that will probably shear the system. And again, tropical storm as it exits into South China Sea, but will probably regain typhoon intensity by Wednesday or Thursday as it exits the Philippine area of responsibility. Also, you can see JWC taking Nesat well south of Hong Kong and into Hainan there. Pagasa, meanwhile, you can see here tracking well, the same thing actually, the landfall point and also landfall time around tomorrow morning. So good agreement among the agencies there as well, although Pagasa taking more in a west-northwestward track, actually tracking it west of Hong Kong, certainly different from the other agencies there. But again, the landfall point, as I said, is pretty similar among models and agencies, which is near or at Casiguran by tomorrow morning. And this is the typhoon risk map that we've done based on the forecast from agencies and also computer models, showing the potential risks associated with Nesat. You can see the storm surge. Highest threat is again situated all throughout the eastern seaboard of Luzon, let's say from Quezon province all the way to Cagayan. Definitely some high waves as well, around 44 to 8 feet or higher actually, and Pagasa are actually also putting out gale marine warnings for the eastern seaboard of Luzon for high waves and strong winds. So boating is discouraged, and also ferry travel definitely discouraged across these areas. And also here for central Visayas, even though Nesat is far away from the area. Also, I'm outlining the coverage of typhoon force winds. Relatively small area, see, but the strongest of winds will probably be felt on the right quadrant of the storm, north of the center here in this case, probably around southern Isabela, north of Casiguran, Aurora. But definitely still going to be seeing those typhoon force winds of around 120 to 150 kilometers sustained. But that can change, depends on the strengthening and intensification later tonight. But as you can see, as it moves across land, that typhoon intensity will weaken, and also that typhoon coverage will weaken. But the tropical storm force winds extends as far away as 300 kilometers. See, I've included Manila of seeing some strong winds tonight and into tomorrow in much of Luzon actually. And also the green box that you see here is heavy rain around less than 200 millimeters, with the heaviest of rain around 200 kilometers away. This is for 24-hour rainfall forecast. As you can see here, more than 200 millimeters expected across these areas. And so far actually now we have reports of 50 to 150 millimeters, so expect another 100 millimeters for much of Bicol and southern Luzon. And as Nesat moves nearer, closer to Luzon, expect that to begin seeing some heavy rain there as well, which could definitely bring the threat of landslides and widespread flooding. So that is the forecast for Nesat. Moving on to Haitang quickly here, an update. You can see the exposed circulation here south of Hanoi, south of Hainan. You can see the location 90 kilometers east-northeast of Da Nang, right over here, or about 210 kilometers southeast of Sanya here in Hainan province. Maximum sustained winds still at 65, gusting to 90, and Haitang moving north. Actually, it is now moving westward at around 10 kilometers per hour, so disregard this data right over here. In terms of convection, you can see the storm center is right over here, and the convection is sheared to the west due to the strong wind shear that I've mentioned, which is really inhibiting the storm, not really helping this intensify more than a weak tropical storm at best. And you can also see this convective activity reaching southern Hainan, and that is reflected well here on the radar from CMA, showing you the heavy rain bands and also some embedded thunderstorms southern part of Hainan, probably bringing 100 millimeters to 200 millimeters in 24 hours. And that will continue tonight and into tomorrow as Nesat moves south of the island and eventually making landfall in Vietnam. Forecast agencies like JMA here, for example, showing it tracking and making landfall perhaps Tuesday afternoon, tomorrow, Vietnam local time. And JTWC also in good agreement with JMA, forecasting a landfall approximately around 400 kilometers south of Hanoi by tomorrow afternoon, as a tropical storm, as a weak tropical storm, and then probably dissipating across as it moves across Laos and eventually into Thailand. But the main threat here is heavy rain for parts of Indochina and also here in Hainan province, and the rain around 200 to 300 millimeters in some spots, so threat of landslides and flooding will also be likely there. Just something to keep in mind. And that concludes our forecast. The video update for today. We'll probably have another video update tomorrow. I'll try that. For the meantime, just head on to our site for the latest warnings from Pagasa. Until our next update, stay safe. Bye bye.